Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Athena's Garden TV. I'm Liz. I'm an Akashic Records Reader and remote energy healer. I don't usually do frequent energy updates, looking at my past videos maybe once a year, but lately something big has been coming through and I felt a strong pull to share a more zoomed out perspective. So if you're watching this right now, then this message is meant for you. So a warm welcome to my channel and my small Athenian corner of the internet. Have you felt off this summer? Let me ask you, have you felt weird, a little off or out of sync lately, maybe even sluggish? If you thought the Lionsgate portal was intense, well, I hate to break it to you, but there was a reason on top of Lionsgate, Mercury and Retrograde and the full and new moons that contributed to why you've been feeling this way. And yet another portal is already here before we can even catch a break. Let me explain. In a typical year in the Lunisolar Calendar that we use in Chinese culture and Daoist practice, as well as just following the moon, January to June is Yang energy, and July to August is Yin energy, with July being the transitional month between Yin and Yang. That's why, for some people like myself, July usually gets us a little bit upside down for those with energy sensitivities. July of the Lunisolar calendar, not the Gregorian calendar. In Chinese culture and folklore, Lunar July is also known as the ghost month, where the proverbial gates of hell open and all the ghosts and demons are allowed to roam around freely, like scenes from Spirited Away. Before you go into a panic about ghosts and demons, I want to remind you that throughout the rest of the year, we already coexist with them in different dimensions and consciousness. Maybe you just haven't noticed. So this month is no different in that sense. It's just going to be more prevalent than the other times of the year. This year, it seemingly all collapsed together into one huge portal because we had an extra lunisolar June. Let me explain. By the time this video goes live, the Lunar July or Ghost month of the Lunisolar calendar is already ongoing. Starting around August 22nd or 23rd, depending on your time zone, we have an extra month of Yin energy as we get back on track with the regular program outside of the leap year month with the extra June. This gate officially opens, as mentioned, on August 22nd or 23rd and will continue until September 20th or 21st, depending on your time zone. Generally, Taoist and folklore practices would advise you to stay home, rest up, avoid risk-taking behavior, avoid signing contracts, and definitely avoid psychoactive substances like drugs and alcohol during this time. I did a video on this period last year, which I will link here in the description box as well as on the corner. Before we dive into these elemental shifts and the energy update, I do need to briefly discuss blueprinter souls. My next video that's coming up, possibly next week, I'll talk more in depth about what blueprinters are. For now, just think of blueprinter souls as a subgroup of lightworkers who assist the creator in creating our reality. I'm a blueprint designer myself, and other blueprint designer souls work closely with blueprint originators who design the blueprint or template of what we are creating, and they hand it to us. Our job as blueprint designers is to add beauty, the elemental magic to the design, the five senses, using the principle of design for aesthetics, as well as creating a fantastic experience for those who will be using this blueprint. If this were a video game production, we are the creative direction and art department, and this includes concept, story, and character design. Everything you see has been designed. Blueprint designers generally don't prefer to incarnate as humans, as we would rather be in our artist studio designing. Those of us who do, according to Susie at Akashic Readings and Healing, I'll link her blog in the bio, tend to, quote, live a solitary artistic life, choosing to create more beauty, unquote. But yes, someone has to be here to check up on the designs too, right? And so we take turns. The general process with blueprinters collaborating is we then hand off our design to the blueprint engineers and technicians, and they build it. We also work closely with them when they build the blueprint, and after they build it, they hand it off to the blueprint deliverers, who are responsible for bringing the information, the light codes, download them, and deliver them to the dimensions the blueprint is intended for. Blueprint deliverers then download, as mentioned, and help bring this new information or new templates or timelines to the attendant souls or the users. Then we have the blueprint changers who then use this blueprint and make these changes happen. As a blueprint designer, we are out here designing, redesigning, and improving details, usually during times of major portals. And this is why I'm always either way early or late when I have information that's worth sharing. What I'm getting at is my energy update here on my channel are always focused on the macro, these structural shifts, as opposed to things that are more current or the day-to-day events. With that said, let's finally get into this energy update. Since I've already made the 2 videos about the wood dragon and the wood snake ears, I'll link them in the description, but just to review, from my macro blueprint designer perspective, I'm looking at the long-term implications of these energies. I study many systems, both the East and the West, because it's what I need for my unique job. So I examine specific data and statistics in a broad sense. For example, I mentioned in July of 2024 that it's the year of the winds of change because the wood fuels the fire, adding in with the alchemical air element, while the roots of the wood slowly break down the stubborn earth. And this energy is needed to dismantle old structures that no longer serve us as a collective. As an example, it was clear to me that no matter who got elected in the United States election in 2024, that it was going to be a tumultuous time around the world. And I did share this on my Athena's Garden Instagram stories. My goal at the time was to make sure to put out content that supports the process of deconstructing while reconstructing for the well-being of the greatest number of people, especially the ones who are focused on their ascension and spiritual journey. The ones who do not care or perhaps made a choice to descend, hey, everyone has free will. It's their choice. Then it doesn't matter to them, right? Anyway, now let's review the elemental or metaphysical shifts. The wood dragon ear of 2024 is the yang ear, and the wood snake ear is the pairing ear of the yin ear. My guides, the goddess of the 9 heavens, 九天玄女, or Athena, they have taught me to think of these complex divination systems in simple terms. Yang is above, yin is below. Yang is the sky, or the divine masculine, the macrocosm, while yin is earth, divine feminine, and the microcosm. The counterpart of the dragon of the sky is the kundalini serpent energy of the earth. So the following info, I actually used Gemini to get a summary of these archetypes, and then I added my own channelings to the information. So the Yang Wood Dragon in 2024 is this energetic, powerful, and ambitious energy all about growth, expansion, the drive for innovation, and breaking new ground. In contrast, the Yin Wood Snake in 2025 is all about intuition, wisdom, and strategic thinking. The Yin Wood represents flexibility, introspection, and creativity. The focus is still on growth, but with more careful planning and personal development, like quietly anchoring new ideas like the roots into the sacred Earth's grid, like in grid working. I'm now understanding post facto why this Lionsgate portal was indeed crazier than the other Lionsgate portals. As a blueprint designer, I'm personally not a fan of calendars and deadlines, as you can imagine. Like, please just let me work on it until it's done correctly. Probably the inner dialogue of all artists and designers. Since this is not a frequent occurrence, it didn't occur to me to look up what's happening in 2025 regarding this lunisolar leap year, meaning we have 2 Junes this year. This rare event called 闰6月 comes around every 19 to 38 years to realign the seasons and the extra days, since the calendar evolves around the moon cycle, and as a result we have an extra month that lacks this celestial energy, which means it lacks 中气, making it an extra yin energy month. This extra June would have spanned from late July 25th to late August 22nd of 2025. So if this period has been really weird, it's because it was weird. And this, of course, coincided with the Lion's Gate and all the other things Mercury retrograde in the Western or New Age traditions. The lack of 中气 signifies a period of imbalance and transition. The 中气 represents a state of balance and a fixed point in the solar cycle as part of Daoist metaphysics. Its absence in a month signifies a period that is more out of sync with the regular flow of heaven's energy, which is 天气. Therefore, it was like a liminal space, a pause or an echo in the regular progression of the seasons and energy levels. This can be interpreted as a period of heightened flux, where the normal rules of the seasons and their corresponding energies are suspended. So those who may have this gift of chronokinesis in your tool belt may have felt extra disoriented, as it messes with our perception of time to begin with, and those who already regularly use your chronokinesis to bend and stretch time may have felt it was extra whack. This out-of-sync metaphysical property caused unusual seasonal patterns and funky energy shifts. What other Daoist masters have said, I will link their video in the description, apologies, it's in Mandarin, is that due to the wood snake ear, the yin energy feeds more fire. And excessive fire energy always is linked to earthquakes, war, arguments, and conflicts. So the wildfires, check out energetically speaking, and it spilled over. However, I must remind you that fire is also creation, fire is innovation. This fire energy is used for winds of change, as mentioned in my previous video. So it's possible that reconstruction is still happening at the same time. So please don't despair, at least I'm trying not to. Traditionally, this extra month is filled with an unusual surge of yin energy, so it's recommended to be passive, receptive, and cooling. And this can lead to a feeling of lower vitality and a need for deep rest and introspection. The leap 6th month of 闰6月 has unstable earth qi or di qi, and we're advised to get even more grounded and generate more of our own earth energy. For example, by avoiding stirring up unstable energy or more of the air element and fire element. Like, oops, that's what I did last month without knowing. I also went down some rabbit holes I probably shouldn't have gone down. Even though it has passed, it was still should have been a time for, think of it as a gift for restoration, for slowing down and quietly reflecting, like a gift of time, if you will. So let's continue that Alice in Wonderland symbolism here, especially with the chronokinesis element that I mentioned. This is why if you did follow me on my Instagram posts and reels, I was literally girl mossing, a meme I saw on Instagram, and I immediately adapted because I was spending time lying on the floor or in the bathtub for almost 2 weeks, just doing the bare minimum to recharge that di qi, that earth energy I was telling you about. I was doing it without knowing what I was doing because I was so energetically drained and just trying to generate that earth energy while calming the excessive fire I experienced. For those with energetic sensitivities, it's advised to be mindful of your spiritual and emotional state. Esoteric Taoists would say to avoid places with heavy or unlucky energy and be conscious about consuming spiritual information or accepting items and charms that have not been consecrated or purified, since they come from unknown sources. Wouldn't it have been helpful to know this a few months ago and prepare? Alas, I am not a blueprint deliverer. While I too can tune in to this if I set my mind to it, I prefer to focus on my own lane as a blueprint designer, so to speak, and so I do rely on my fellow lightworker colleagues, assistants, who are tapping in and reporting this back to those who need to hear it, myself included, to be more prepared. Now we know for the future, so we can keep a lookout. So what's next for the rest of the year? The Lunar July portal will be closing in late September as mentioned, and I was hoping that this energy shift will finally be cozy time. But it turns out the yin energy of this wood snake ear means that the wood will continue fueling the fire. While it sounds impossible, try to focus your energy on regenerative and restorative activities. Think about the snake going into the cave to hibernate, regenerate, and recharge. Externally, the fire energy will continue as the yin wood fuel the fire. This means more changes are to come, whether it's the trade wars, world economic changes, or the current ongoing conflicts. It may or may not reach a conclusion. Again, anything can happen and things may change tomorrow. For now, I'm tuning into the highest timeline of our collective. I can see that regardless of what kind of changes come up, we are collectively trying to make innovative progress towards finding resolutions together. If you may be interested in a video to see my read on the macro level for 2026 to 2027, based on my unique take of East-West energy, please do let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Let me know if you find a general overview like this helpful to you. I do want to remind everyone that without your birth data, this information should be used as a general guide. So please check out my reframing divination video where I explain in greater detail. While this was not my original scope for this video, I did want to give you something more concrete to consider as a practice tool. So let's very quickly go over the 5 elements together. For this part, you have to know which element you are based on in your own natal chart, or else it's simply not useful. Per my divination video, all elementals have pros and cons, with this wood fire causing excessive fire energy for the rest of the year. For metal individuals, because fire controls metal, it can melt you down or might be overwhelming sometimes. But if fire is indeed melting you, think of it as a golden opportunity to let go of the old templates that no longer serve you and adapt. For water individuals, you'll have an easier time balancing and cooling off naturally and can even be there to guide others with your calming presence. But if the fire comes on too strong, it evaporates the water and it can be energetically draining. So having enough rest and recharging is so important. For wood individuals, there's generally a sense of vitality, growth, and amplification of your creativity, with the roots strengthening you. But this excessive wood turned air energy can make you feel more pressure to achieve more, leading to more stress and competitiveness. So stay grounded and take it step by step. For fire individuals, wood usually supports the fire, energy, passion, and goal accomplishment. Since wood fuels the fire, But it's a double-edged sword. If the fire becomes too excessive, it can lead to burnout and overworking, or impulsivity and hot-temperedness. And this is my case. I really need to take a chill pill instead of going for more and more. Earth individuals, you'll experience more abundance as fire generates earth. So there's an opportunity to build something for yourself, whether for work or personal life. However, with so much change happening, things being so up in the air, so to speak, it can potentially be destabilizing, so beware. As you can see here, no matter your unique elemental type and combination, we're all affected by this energy in different ways, both pros and cons. No one has it easier or harder. It just really depends on the combination of your chart to the metaphysical or energy that's happening outside with the stars, with energy, so to speak. You really have to take this information and customize it for yourself and your own constitution. As an example, I have a lot of fire in my chart. I'm a fire dragon soul, and I'm a fire tiger on earth. And I have a fiery digestive system, according to Ayurveda and TCM. So if I know energetically there's going to be a lot of fire in the air, I'm going to be taking it really chill. You'll find me in the bathtub, meditating, journaling, doing yoga, listening to calming lectures, and relaxing TV shows, and try not to get aggravated or stimulated in order to balance myself. Additionally, since I run warm, with all this fire in my dantian already, in my core, I will consider continuing cold plunging, cryotherapy, staying in cool air conditioning instead of being out in the sun, staying hydrated, eating cooling foods with less spices, adding peppermint essential oil to my bath water, and drinking peppermint tea to cool off and stay grounded. This is a mind, body, and soul holistic approach. Where I believe I can make a bigger impact as a healer is when I get to work with clients one-on-one, providing Akashic Records reading and remote energy healing. And that's energy work that's targeted for your birth chart and your unique microcosm in relation to the macrocosm at large. I will then call in the appropriate dragon elemental frequency to help balance you, as well as any relevant angelic ascended master frequencies you need based on what you're going through right now. The reason why I like the Akashic Records readings is because you only need 1 up to 2, at least 1 year more apart. Maybe 3 for special things with family issues, but that's a unique situation. As for energy healing, the frequency of the sessions will depend on the issue and the client's needs. I do believe we can all benefit from energetic help and energetic medicine from time to time, but ultimately, my channel on YouTube is an education platform, so I really hope to encourage you to tap into your inner gnosis or your inner wisdom and take action that's best for yourself. Before I go, I really want to underscore that energy updates don't apply to everyone universally. My video provides this very zoomed out macro or structural view, and it might not affect you at all. Doesn't mean energy is not real. It's simply because macro energy updates don't apply to everyone universally and the same way, as it depends on your unique blueprint and your natal chart and your elemental and your microcosm. And this is why I want to emphasize here in my previous reframing divination video, the importance of using tools to analyze yourself and practicing self-trust and discernment for yourself. I believe we should just do our best every day, keep a normal attitude, and see these energetic shifts with a come what may attitude. Let's face the music together. And that's what I believe as a pragmatist. Remember to always use your own discernment and follow the destiny you have decided for yourself. And if you might be interested in working with me, I've linked my website in the description box below. I'm Liz of Athena's Garden. Thank you so much for watching. This is a slightly longer video, but in my view, a very important video. Let me know your thoughts and whether you have been feeling these energy shifts. I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.